Stewart Rhodes of Oath Keepers, the founder of it, is with us. He was an aide to Congressman Ron Paul. He was a paratrooper in the Army. He decided to start Oath Keepers, which has really taken off all over the nation, on the streets, not even when I'm at events. But I see people handing out Oath Keeper material. I see people handing out flyers about the carbon tax and world government. I went to Dutch Roll Shell last week to pay for some gas in Austin, and there on the counter were anti-Federal Reserve flyers. And I said to the guy behind the counter, I said, where'd this come from? And he said, oh, the owner of this gas station, not the franchise itself, but the franchise owner, of that particular Shell put those out. And so everywhere you're seeing activism, and it's transcending the controlled left-right paradigm. And Oath Keepers is getting the military to say, we will follow our oath to protect and defend the Constitution and to not violate our oath, to not put Americans in FEMA camps, to not confiscate their guns. Now, big national media have written scores of articles attacking myself and Stewart Rhodes. They always include me into Oath Keepers, even though I'm not a military veteran. And they say this group wants to overthrow the president. This group wants to have a war. This group, when Oath Keepers is about saying we're not going to let criminals in government overthrow our country, and we are peacefully speaking out against violence. So there's a real attempt here to distort what's really happening. And we're seeing a lot of goading on the forums, a lot of pushing, and it's come out countless times. Big court case just got lost by a government employee in Canada, where it turned out that by day, he was a hate crime fighter, arresting people that criticize any group in any way, or finding them or feeing them. But by night, he was a Nazi actually out doing the events. This is how they work. Like they bombed Oklahoma City to blame it on the Patriot movement. And that's all the evidence is there. I've had police on that investigated it, the bombs in the building, the whole story. The way the New World Order is going to operate is they're going to attack their own police and military to then get them to attack the American people and launch this war. We're trying to stop that from happening. We're going to talk about that today with Stewart Rhodes. We're going to talk about Oath Keepers is going to be linking up with 9/12 that Glenn Beck is one of the progenitors of, but the people in it are good. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to bash Glenn Beck. I guess we could have a moratorium on Beck and say, okay, Beck, if you ever come back and say there aren't FEMA camps again, or that maybe the veterans are dangerous and crazy, or maybe we should use troops against the American people, or Ron Paul's bad. I've seen him at key junctures do this. And if you don't think the establishment doesn't want to lead our movement against the New World Order, you've got nothing coming. It's like the NRA authored the 1968 Gun Control Act. Did you know that? It's actually a pro-gun control group. Its members aren't, so I'm really concerned about that. But I think it's great to have our people not infiltrate, but go in with the true message into 9/12. I think Oath Keepers are just fabulous as long as they keep their code of not going along with martial law, police state, and the 10 points that they swear that they're going to uphold. So very, very complex issue here, but I'm glad that our audience has embraced Stewart Rhodes and Oath Keepers from its embryonic phase. I'm very honored to see Oath Keepers from its maiden voyage expand out into what it is today. There is an extra, 20-minute extra in Fall of the Republic that is the Oath Keepers. They're also going to be in Fall of the Republic 2, but the extra in Fall of the Republic is we went to Lexington Green, interviewed Stewart and many others. It's very, very powerful. Let's now go to Stewart Rhodes. Stewart, good to have you here with us today.
Thank you, sir. Honored to be here again. Appreciate it. If I could touch on the 9/12 thing real quickly. Whatever the involvement of Beck was, I talked to the national coordinator for 9/12, and in fact, her name is Ida Davis, and Patrick Jenkins, founder of 9/12, is going to be at our convention this next weekend in Las Vegas, October 24th and 25th is the first Oath Keeper convention. But I got a good sense from talking to her that she really is grassroots driven, and it's not about GOP party hacks or any of that kind of nonsense. It's about being nonpartisan. And in fact, she said that she's going to encourage folks to run independents in local races to break the lock of the two-party system. And what counts is whether you're a constitutionalist, not whether you have an R or a Democrat or D behind your name.
Well, listen, I want to be clear. I hope you go on Glenn Beck. I hope Glenn Beck, like Saul of Tarsus, gets knocked off his horse and wakes up and becomes a good guy. He just won't be on air very long, at least the level he is. I just know he's an operative, and I know he's there to get everybody's confidence and betray everyone because he's proven it. And I've listened to him and watched him with great detail. Overall, I think some of what he's doing is positive, but he's only doing that so he can double back later. So I don't want to just, get into this here and say, how dare the 9/12 Project get involved? This is good. This is the true patriots. Beck tried to take over what we started. Now we're going back and taking over what is rightfully ours, the Tea Parties, 9/12, everything else. And I think, on the surface, we should be friendly towards Beck. And I didn't even mean to get off into that. You just told me off air that it looks like you guys are going to be part of the next big 9/12 event. And so I think that's very, very important.
Right. Well, what they approached me about was that they want to do a big summit of all the different liberty leaders to come together and all the different organizations. And they're targeting April for that, April 15th or 19th. But I just talked to her again and encouraged her to think about doing one a lot sooner because we're running out of time. And so I propose that we do one on December 15th and 16th, which is Bill of Rights Day and the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. Hold a symposium of national liberty leaders, everybody. Doesn't make a difference who they are. Just come together and talk and then plan. Not just come together to protest, but get together to plan and coordinate. It's high time we do that. And I know other folks have tried to do that. Bob Schultz of We the People having his Continental Congress. But the more we get together like this, the better. So I encourage any liberty organization leaders and also you to come cover it.
Yeah. Well, I was invited to that. I didn't go because I was too busy working on the film. And I think it's a fine idea. It's just having only a select coterie of leaders together, I don't think is the way I would go. To have a huge throng of different people together, as long as, but see, 9/12 setting it up, they're going to direct it, I guess.
No, she's open to having my input. So it's going to be, it's not going to be just, you have to be a certain elite. It's everyone from across the country, all different grassroots.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I hope that the big event is directed by all the groups that are there, and not just the 9/12 Project.
No, it won't be. It's not about 9/12. It's about getting. That's the whole point. Is to get everyone together. I mean, call it an Oath Keeper Summit. I mean, it's about our oath to the Constitution, and it's about getting together and working to defend.
Hey, regardless, we need to get together, and I absolutely agree with you. That's exciting. Let's shift gears now into all the attack pieces. There's so many, I don't even read them all now when I see the headlines. But I notice you and I are being attacked together. You'll have like a 5, 10, some cases, ADL, 15-page report, Southern Poverty Law Center, George Soros groups, and they always put you and I together. And
they think associating with you smears me, and vice versa. I guess they think that's some kind of a plus, but it works in our favor, I think.
Sure, but they're also trying to imply that we're calling for revolution and violence. Right. Meanwhile, they've got their operatives out trying to stir up violence. Right. They're kind of in a 1990s model. I don't see this working today. I think people are looking right through them.
Well, and also the message of Oath Keepers is that you do not have to violate the Constitution to save it. And this is what's different between us and other countries like Nazi Germany, where the oath was to the Führer. Their only chance of ever saving Germany would be to rebel against their oath and violate their own oath and kill Hitler. In our country, the oath is to the Constitution, and so that's why our message to police and military is only to refuse the unlawful orders and to stand down. It can't be done without them. And we even get criticism from folks who are like, well, I want to know what you're going to do, not just what you won't do. And they're missing the whole point. If the police and military don't do anything, then we win. But how can they do it without them? They'd have to bring in foreign troops.
Well, sure. I mean, to boil it down, somebody's got to say it's wrong to train to confiscate guns. It's wrong to build FEMA camps. That's all admitted now. It's wrong to put military on the streets of America for regular police actions and not just emergencies. All of this is clearly authoritarian, un-American. History shows it's bad. We know the federal government's been hijacked by foreign banks. and just shake our heads, kind of wake ourselves up, put our heads in a bucket of ice water, and go, wait a minute, foreign offshore banks run by people like Ken Lay and Madoff have come in, taken over, and are engaged in crime, and now the criminals are trying to direct the military and police to break their oaths to protect the corrupt elite. No, just follow the Constitution. Start saying no. But the establishment, by increments, trains police and military to violate the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, a little bit by a little bit, but before they know it, they've been completely twisted.
Right. Then they're standing on the streets and dispersing peaceful protesters and using sound cannons on them. So that's the whole point of our message, is to counteract that and to teach them about the Constitution and get them back to square one.